you go home, you go to sleep, the video comes out, but at what point you decided like maybe I need to actually go to the hospital?
It wasn't until the next day. My great grandma was worried because again, I was on probation and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and she didn't want to get in trouble with CPS. I had gotten her in trouble a lot with CPS when it
Uh-huh.
comes to like getting tattoos and stuff like that. Even though she was okay with it, she didn't like to have to explain herself, I guess, in court.
Okay.
So she just like thought that we should check all of our bases and
Mhm.
go to the hospital. I went to the hospital the next day. 2 days after that, I went to the doctors, like the ENT, ear, nose, and throat doctor, to get like a head scan and make sure I was okay, which is when I found out that my bones were like broken in the back of my head, but
Uh-huh.
they had to heal on their own. I left the building and there was like 5 officers and my probation officer, and they all arrested me and took me to court.
And what was the reason they were telling you for you being arrested?
Probation violation and assault
Okay.
because I was on her property, and in the video, I'm pretty sure I hit her first.
Oh, okay. So they'd seen enough of it that they
Oh, yeah.
considered you to have kind of started it.
Yeah, my judge was super like excited and mad at the same time. I had a big, thick court file. You know what I mean? Like I had just done so many things wrong, okay? And he like slammed it. He always does. He like slammed it down on the table. He was like, Miranda Fugate, you think you're viral. You think you're famous now, huh? I was like, oh no. Oh no.
And so, okay, then they just lock you up in the local county jail?
And they put me in protective services and all that kind of stuff like for longer, and said that I could not be on social media until I graduated drug court.
Okay.
Which was not until I was almost 18 years old. I was 17 and a half. Like I think it was like 3 months shy of being 18.
But I think you were 14 during the fight, and then they locked you up for how long?
A year.
A year.
Over a year, yeah.
Just fresh off that situation. You don't get any freedom.
Because I had time off on the shelf and stuff like that. Other probation violations, they locked me up for a really long time. What happens is with drug court is your parents, like your guardian technically at the time, has to like sign permission for you to go in, and they take like extra control pretty much of your life.
Wow.
So it's something that's supposed to be for like kids that are going down a like severely wrong path. You know what I mean? To try to gear them.
And so you're like aware that this is super viral, but then you get locked up and now you can't really like see any of it or engage with it, right?
They wouldn't let me go near a window because there was news stations sitting outside trying to get a glimpse of me in the window. They had people coming in that were doing like classes for the students that wanted to do interviews with me for like different stuff, like, and they wouldn't let them do that. They wouldn't let me. My family could not come see me. I did not see my family until 6 months into the system because they wouldn't let my family come see me. They took complete custody control.
So they were just paranoid that you were going to benefit from this.
Yes, 100%, 100%. They took away my social media rights. They took everything away. Anytime I would make social media accounts, obviously when I got out after a year, I was like 15 and a half. I would make social media accounts. I would make Facebooks. I would go to court. My judge would have screenshots of my Facebooks and be like, you're going to jail. Like no matter what I did, it didn't matter. Like I wasn't allowed to create content or do anything after that.
Wow. So, okay, you're locked up for like a year. And then what? They let you out and...
They let me out. They let me back with my family. I'm still in like protective services. I didn't go back to my great grandma because they took custody from her because of everything that happened. And so I had to go with my Nana at the time. And I was just like on probation. No, I wasn't on house arrest when I first got out. I was just on probation, super heavily guarded. I always dropped like 3 times a week, went to court once a week. It was hell.
Right.
Really.
And so you can't really do anything on the internet, even though you kind of know that this stuff is out there.
Oh, yeah. No, I can't do any. I'm not allowed. Like if I do something or make a video, I would go back to jail. So what's the point? Because then it's just going to go viral and then I go back to jail and it doesn't matter again.
And even after you got out after that year, did it still feel like people were tapping in and people still wanted to do content with you, or did it kind of wear off by then?
I think I could have if I tried, you know what I mean? But I didn't try, and I think it's like everything wears off, especially something like World Star and something like that. And just people forget after a while. Not like they don't remember, but it's just not as.
No, yeah. People don't like, normal people don't really get that. Then when something's super viral, it's like you can usually guarantee that like motherfuckers are gonna move on. Although here we are, 11 years later or whatever. Wait, is that right? Was it
11 years?
2014, right? Yeah, okay. So, all right, then meanwhile, it's kind of crazy, but the girl who actually threw the shovel didn't get locked up?
No, she didn't. She got community service. So this was in Miami County. If you were on like drug court, parole, or probation, in Ohio, you automatically get taken to the county, or the like charges get transferred to the county that you are on probation in. I was on probation in Montgomery County, which is like Dayton downtown. So she got to go to Miami County, and they took lenience on the fact that she was getting death threats and stuff, and she was so young and she had no charges. My city was not taking lenience on the fact that I had so many charges for so many years, and I swung first.
Right. So, but then she ended up basically, like, honestly, it almost seems fucked up. If she really got hit first, like, how can they really say that there's anything wrong with her throwing a shovel at somebody on her property?
Right. I mean, right. The state picked up charges. My family did not press charges on her.
Okay.
They kind of laughed at the video. They were not.
Right. Because looking back on it, does it feel like, shit, we should have sued? Although I don't know what you would have really sued, considering it's some broke ass person, right?
Yeah, not really. I mean, I don't know if she's broke. I mean, her family had like some land and some chickens, so maybe not. I don't really know.
Are we gonna sue her for a chicken? Yeah.
Yeah, right, right. Free eggs though. Eggs are getting expensive. I don't know.
That is a good point. It might have been a wise investment. Yeah.
Right.
But okay, because she ends up doing like Dr. Phil and shit, like right away, or does it take a while for her to do that?
I don't really know. Cause I was in jail. You know what I mean? And I was kind of like focused on my own trauma and my own head things going on, but I found out she went on Dr. Phil after I got out, and I was like kind of pissed about it. I know Dr. Phil wanted me on, right, but obviously I couldn't go on
because honestly, like no shade at this girl or whatever, but I watched her Dr. Phil appearance earlier, and it's so dry. She had like nothing to say. Like Dr. Phil was dragging it out of her, and she had nothing going on.
She lied a lot. She said we went to the same school. We did not go to the same school. I never bullied her. Like I said, my dad committed suicide when I was 10. I watched him die. She said she tried to use the excuse that I told her to kill herself, which a lot of people on TikTok have taken her side from. I never told her to kill herself. I would never say that to anybody. My dad killed himself, so.
Wait, you watched him die?
Yeah, he hung himself in a suicide hospital. And then they had him on like this life support machine in the hospital, but his brainstem had disconnected.
Wait, so he hung himself in the hospital?
In the suicide hospital. He tried to jump off a bridge, and the cops talked him down, and he was in a suicide hospital in Cincinnati, Ohio, and then he hung himself with the sheets.
In the hospital?
Yeah, and they let him hang for 3. We sued them. We did sue them. They got some money from that. I got some money from that as well.
But what? Because they just weren't keeping a close enough eye on him?
They let him hang for 30 minutes.
30?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
His brainstem was disconnected. The only thing keeping him alive was this machine. His pupils wouldn't dilate or anything. And he was a big sports guy. He liked to draw, stuff like that. Even though he'd been to prison, he was really talented. We knew he wouldn't want to live as a vegetable or just on a machine, so we did pull the plug. My Nana fought for me to be in the room, so I was there when it happened.
Oh, I'm sorry you had to deal with that. That's terrible.
No, that's okay. I went to therapy.
Right. Okay. But so after that year, because you ended up doing like 3 years in jail, right? Or was
altogether, yeah, I've done 3 years. Anytime I dropped dirty for like weed or anything, it was 10 days, 30 days. Okay. Anytime I got in trouble, I would run away for like 6 months, come home. That's like 30 days, 6 months.
So after that 1 year, you basically do what? Like, because you're still 15, 16 at this point, right?
I go back to doing hoodlum stuff. You know what I mean? I don't really think about the fame or like this stuff on the internet because I know I can't get on it. I just like continue just like, I think I was just upset and angry, you know?
Yeah. And are you still kind of like a superstar locally? Like everybody knows about this because nobody is viral or has some crazy amount of internet attention?
I think so. I think Ohio is
people just moved on?
Yeah, people like, you know, people just go on with their lives. Same way I do, same way you do, you know? People just like, okay.
Wow.
On to the next. I mean, for some people, you know? Like a lot of people in my city know who I am and I have a lot of friends there, but
especially like that kind of clip. It's like the kind of thing that is like irresistible. Everybody has to pay attention to it for like 5 minutes. And then at some point they just move on and then everybody just kind of forgets. Yeah. Cause like, I mean, my first viral thing was when I was in 2014, basically the exact same time as you. A couple of my friends that rode for my bike shop bunny hopped over a bunch of homeless people and they made an Instagram video of them just hopping their bikes over bums.
Nice.
So viral. It was on like every news station. It was everywhere. I felt like this was never going to end. And then like a week later, they just stopped talking about it and it was just done.
Right. That's how it usually goes. Yeah. Right. This was crazy. It went so viral. I was honestly surprised at how viral it went. And then I remember I'd gotten out of treatment and I was like in my Nana's like spare bedroom on the couch, like eating cereal, probably going on a bench. Who knows what I was doing at the time? You know what I mean? But my cousin called me and he was like, "You were just mentioned on Family Guy. This shit is crazy." I was like, "What are you talking about?" So I went and looked it up and I was like, "This is crazy." And that happens to me every so often. You know what I mean? They mentioned me on the Two Bears podcast
Oh,
like
really?
a couple years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago.
That's
And I
tight.
had gotten a bunch of Instagram messages like, they just messaged you on this podcast. Da, 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 da.
Okay, so you just saw the clip, but did you know that you can watch this entire interview right now before it's released to the public, uncensored, by becoming a member for just $5 a month? And there's a lot of other crazy benefits as well. So make sure you hit the link down in the description and sign up. Appreciate y'all.